Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
working out. When the lights out go your way, music's up and the top is down. Gotta love that perfect kind of day. No work, all play. You want it, you got it, you got it. Luck is like a waterfall, baby, you can have it. Oh, you're rolling, rolling, you're rocking, rocking. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Hello, you should be able to hear me now. Let me bring in Brendan real quick. It's never right there. Here we go. Brendan, could you speak for me, please?
Hello, how's it going?
That's pretty
Can you hear me
good.
Good.
I'm gonna boost.
I'm not talking very loudly. I'll turn it up a bit.
I'm gonna boost
Yeah,
you
how's
a
it
little
going,
bit.
everybody? Yeah.
I'm gonna get you to 100%,
Mm.
and then I'm gonna bring myself up to that zone. I'm gonna get that Discord pop-up menu off.
You can hear me crunch on my apple.
Cool.
I'm gonna stop eating this apple. Actually.
No, that's alright. That laugh I just did was quite loud. I'm gonna bring myself down, and I think we're good. Can you talk one more time? Something I put
Yes.
in. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, that's alright. I think that'll do. We'll just get stuck into it. This is X and Y. I'm DB,
I'm Brendan.
as you can tell by the little name tags I've got set up on this Streamlabs setup. And I mean, look, typically I challenge Brendan to learn some trivia, to answer some trivia questions ahead of our little Jack 3 session we do every week or so. I'm going to skip that. But I'm not going to skip that before saying that we are streaming today on the lands of the Camaragal and Gadigal peoples of the Eora Nation, and so I pay my respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging. Yeah, really nothing I want to establish, especially because like last time we played, not a lot happened. It was just a lot of missions that kind of will eventuate to something eventually, but it's nothing like, you know, compelling, character-based, and it's just a lot of like pieces, I suppose. Like some things that we got in a mission will show up later. Anyway, the more interesting stuff will happen this week, as I said last time.
Yeah,
is there
I'm just
anything you want to
shocked that-
ask me? Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I'm shocked that this is the penultimate episode.
Yeah,
I assume
I've made an effort
just
to kind of hustle a bit more, especially with Jack 3 having like shorter travel times between missions. I've made that effort.
Yeah. So I'm guessing there's a lot more side missions and that sort of stuff that we're just not doing.
Yeah. Well, like the side missions are still like very much the kind of thing you saw in the last game, where it's just like collect orbs.
Hey,
and
look what
stuff.
time it is.
Huh?
Hang on.
Oh, are we about to see some Alice?
Oh, no, she's gone on the table.
Okay.
I think Alan's been a jerk. Alan, stop chasing it. You can see some Alan.
Hello,
Hello.
Alan. Hello. Bit better behaved of the two.
Not
Generally?
right now. Not
Well,
right
right
now.
now. Okay. He can be naughty though.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to clarify or just say outright before we get started?
Yeah, I don't really remember too many of the plot advancements from the last session, but I guess as soon as we see them, as soon as we get going, I will be ready.
The one thing
I will
I'll establish
understand.
is the very last thing we did last week, which it kind of leads into the mission we're doing right now, is we went with Sig out to a cave full of metalheads and shut them up and, destroy it. And then, like, on the way back, we had this weird little conversation with Sig where we're just like, hey, what was all that spying you did in Haven City? It's like, none of your business, man. Hey, listen, the end of the world's coming. You got to be on the right side. It's going to be a big pile, presumably of dead bodies. And so there was like trying to present some tension between Jack's obligation to Haven City and his obligation to this new Wastelander community.
Oh, that's right. Who we just met. Yeah.
Yeah, who we don't
We'll see
really
if
love.
there's-
Sorry.
Yeah, there might be something else tying Jack to these people that comes up later.
That may
I
have
don't
been
know
hinted at, subtly or unsubtly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it may have been hinted at. But we're about
He's
to find.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we just get stuck in?
Mhm.
All right, here comes the transition.
Yeah, baby.
All right. Boom. Can you hear it okay?
Yep.
Cool. So here we are. Whoop. And I'm getting my controller tangled in the mic cord, but that's all right. So, as I said, we finished the mission with Sig, and we're just driving back to Spargus, the Wasteland City. But we're going to get another mission straight away from our good friend, the fake Australian.
Oh my god. Donks.
Donk.
That's Phil Lamar, right?
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. Turret mission. Didn't we miss the turret missions? We got to destroy these bombs as they get thrown at us. Well, assuming it gets thrown at us and doesn't miss us like that second one did. And just shoot them dead. That's what we got to do.
And they're coming out of a dinosaur.
They are. They got a big cannon on their back. It's a bit odd.
Not sure why we're fighting dinosaurs right now, but
I don't know. It's cool.
I'm guessing they're like T-Rex shaped metal heads. In reality. Is that
I'm gonna
right?
pause because, sadly, there's no game audio currently, which is a problem because we just watched a cutscene.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing. We're not seeing it react. So let me fix that post haste. Okay. So firstly, I'm just going to quit the capture software, and I will screen share with you as soon as possible. I'm going to reopen the game capture software. Okay. I'm going to pipe it through virtual cable like I want to do. Hang on. I will jump on Discord and screen share it again with you. Streamlabs? No. No, we want game capture. Boom. There we are. Okay. And then hide the sidebar. Alright, Streamlabs, do you like this? Here it comes. Streamlabs, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's just not picking up the game at all. Oh, what a bother. And there's no one in chat to confirm, unfortunately. So, like, I'm just seeing a total lack of waveforms right now. In that case, I think what I'll do is simply delete the source altogether from Streamlabs and re-add it. That's what I'll do. It's never quite been this mean, I feel like. You know? Like, it's just... DB Brendan, DB Brendan. Okay. Got her. Like that. It's gonna be game capture. Yes, it is. All right. Swell. All right. We're gonna put it roughly there. About here. All right. Unfortunately, there's some ugly black borders that have been reintroduced, but I will take it. Alright, baby, come on. Here. Okay. Put that there. Put it underneath everything. Yep, cool. Put that there. Still no luck. Bugger. I hate this. Alright, bear with me. I really wanted to get through this like stuff real quick this time. And it's just doing the exact opposite for me. Just not a fan.
That's alright, take your time.
It's just ironic. Oh, hello. Alright.
I'm currently looking through the screenshots of Space Jam 2.
Oh, yeah.
What
Is
did they
that the
call
only
it?
thing they released today? Because I saw people talking about Lola Bunny a lot.
It was, yeah, Entertainment Weekly put out some like first look stills from the movie. One of them had Lola Bunny. They've gone for like like the models are pretty interesting how they look, because it's like half whatever the company that did Sonic and the Pokemon movie is. That one, so that type of animation where they're going for realism, and then half sort of like when it comes to their facial features, they're like cartoony. I'm really interested to see what this looks like in full motion. You can see what I'm talking about properly in the screenshot.
I feel like the Tom and Jerry movie. Actually, just now that you're done speaking. Yes, finally it's back. Thank God.
All right, cool.
Okay, cool. I don't know if you've seen footage from the new Tom and Jerry movie they're putting out. But
no, I haven't.
there's a very distinct look to the animated characters in that, which are Tom and Jerry, obviously. It's just, it's super fluid and, like, kind of toes that line between computer and hand animated. Where it's like they've applied a hand animated texture to computer models. And it looks quite nice, actually. It stretches and squashes like traditional animation does. So I'm hoping, we're talking about Space Jam. So it's like, we're not going to get high art regardless. But I'm hoping it at least has that look about it. Because I like it.
Something that's kind of sad is, do you remember when the Hobbit movies?
Yeah.
And it's still something that they did. Do you remember that those movies are actually in 48 frames per second rather than
Yes,
24?
because I'll tell you how I remember that. I took the time to, on a friend's request, firstly watch Hobbit 1 and 2 on Stan, and then go and watch the third one in 48 FPS with him in IMAX. Worth it? Not really, but very distinctive. It felt like I was watching like an arcade cabinet, like you're outside Hoyt's and they had like a Time Crisis machine or something, and you're watching one of those in motion, especially when like Smaug is on screen.
Yeah.
It felt really kind of gamey.
Yeah.
And I know people have compared it also to like British theatre, BBC reenactments from like the 80s. Like it just feels really stagey and strange. Yeah. Did you see it in 48?
I saw the first two. I think.
Yeah.
I watched the last one on a plane. Which is a good way to watch it if you have to watch that movie, because boy, that movie's a stinging pile of shit.
Yeah.
But the second and third one. The first one's okay. But yeah, thinking about that movie being in 48, there's a lot. They relied heavily on CG for that movie. So they would have had to put like double the rendering time and probably double the work into making it for what?
Yeah.
For a garbage script.
But it made plenty of money, so probably somebody at, I want to say, New Line was happy. Got their
There was
return.
a big fight over who retains the rights. There's actually like 5 production companies who are like involved in it.
Sure. Oh,
Refer to Lindsay Ellis's documentary.
yeah. I was gonna say, like, you think Lindsay Ellis's essay in some respect. Because that, I like that they interviewed an actual actor there, like one of the hobbits. Not dwarves, rather. That's a get, you know. It's real interesting.
and one that was very candid about the whole situation. 'Cause
Yeah.
he has no like international acting career after that.
Absolutely.
Fuck it.
Yeah. He's good, and he's like a New Zealand local, right? So
Yeah.
he's just, he doesn't have big ambitions. He seemed like an older gentleman, so it's not like he's got a whole career ahead of him necessarily.
He says too that I'm pretty sure they're all getting equal pay in the first one as well.
Yeah, nice.
So it's funny to think about. I don't know if that carried over to the second and third ones, but it'd be pretty fucking nice if it did.
For some reason, the thing that just flashed into my brain was the bit at the end of the third movie where they're like, go and find Strider, and then the Lord of the Rings music kind of...
Oh my god!
So bad.
Oh.
And then the next thing I think of is just all the shit involving Gandalf and Galadriel, like sort of and Saruman all tag teaming
my
on
god!
something.
Stop saying the points in the movie. It's
Like-
too cringe.
Well, it's just like those
Sorry,
movies are so long, and it's like, what was happening the whole time? What
Why?
happened? Jeez. It's just wild.
2 would have been a bit of a stretch. Oh, you failed.
Oh,
Oh,
boo.
that sucks. Yeah, 2 movies would have been a stretch. But it was not Peter Jackson's idea to do 3. It was also not Peter Jackson's idea to direct it.
Yeah,
He didn't want to do it.
and I love that little behind the scenes snippet of him, like where they're describing how they had such little time for prep, and it came to that
Yeah.
point on set, where like Andy Serkis is off filming some second unit stuff, and they just like, oh, we got to just shut down, don't we? We have no
Yeah.
idea what we're doing. The script's not done. Yeah.
Same thing with fucking the Star Wars trilogy prequels.
Pretty much.
They had built sets before the script was finished.
Far out. Like, yeah, there's going to be interesting stories coming out of that too.
It's just like so transparent. Like,
Yeah,
what
I mean, there
happened
already
with those
is
movies.
interesting stories. John Boyega's like just being really candid about how shafted he was.
Oh, the sequels. Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
But he said, "You're not gonna Disney Plus me," which is a legendary quote.
Yeah, that's
Have you
amazing.
heard? Yeah. I think he won a
That's
gold.
great. Did you ever see Attack the Block?
No.
That was the first movie he got known for, I suppose. And he's
Yeah.
just great. This is like quite a while before Force Awakens even. But he's just terrific in it. And it's such a good movie as well, so it's like, and he's the star, so it's just great.
Yeah.
Like I had very, very warm feelings for him when they announced that he was in it. It felt like a win. It's a shame it didn't feel like a win to him, you know? Like he's ambivalent on it, to be honest. Like he said, like, look, I know I've basically got a career because of it, but it doesn't take away from the fact that like they kind of did me dirty in the sequels.
Oh yeah. And he went through a lot of shit too. Like,
Oh yeah,
Like-
yeah. Just online even. Yeah.
Did you see? Have you ever seen the Chinese poster for fucking Rise of?
Yes.
What is it?
Oh
I can't remember.
no.
I
Oh
can't
boy.
remember which one.
I'd forgotten about it until now, but yeah,
Yeah.
I have absolutely seen it. It's very painfully obvious what's going on there.
Oh god.
One more like that.
Fucking hell, Disney. You're not gonna Disney Plus me.
Anyway, are you going to watch WandaVision tonight?
Oh, I love that Wanda is in it. And wait,
Doctor
what?
Strange? No, he hasn't been in it.
Oh, is Scarlet Witch's first name Wanda?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. I
Yeah.
was trying to
She has
figure out
only been known as Wanda up until this point. Like up until the show, you know? Yeah.
Does she start with a Russian accent? Because the first one she's in is Age of Ultron,
That's
right?
a point as well. They make a point of that. Like she switches to an American. Like the pretense is in like Infinity War, where she's like on the lam with Vision, and so they're trying to disguise themselves, and so she picks up an American accent to help with that. That's the pretense, right? But WandaVision touches on it. It's just like
An attempt was made. An attempt was made.
Yes.
In a movie jam-packed full of shit,
Yeah.
it's admirable that they've at least made an attempt there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fine. That's fine to me.
Mm-hmm.
There is a wrestler, former world champ, named Kofi Kingston.
Okay.
Can you guess which country Kofi Kingston comes from? There's some subtle clues in his name.
I'm going to say Jamaica.
Correct. Obviously after Kofi and
I was trying to think of a comedically wrong answer, but that would just make me like I have the disposition where it's just like, no, you just look stupid. You just got it wrong.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
You can't make that funny.
Kofi was originally built from Jamaica, and he spoke with a Jamaican accent.
Oh yeah.
But he's actually from West Ghana, and he has an American accent. So a few years in, he dropped the gimmick, but his name is still Kofi Kingston, even though he speaks with his normal accent and is now built from West Africa. Oh, West Ghana.
Try to find where the last piece is hidden. We must find out what that Daystar really is, and we believe the forest ruins may hold the answers.
So what Samos
Why
is
do you
asking-
believe that? It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So just to recap, Samos wants one last precursor crap item in order to create a device that will allow us to inspect the Daystar, the thing that in the sky that's heading for the planet that's a harbinger of doom. So they're going to collect precursor artifacts that will allow them to understand what the Daystar is and hopefully destroy it.
That was just a classic example of we've made these ancient forest
I've been doing some research on the
whatever he
forest
said.
pillars. It seems
Oh, here's
to
not
be
Cairo.
longer than any other known ruins, except for maybe the catacombs. Myth says these pillars were once linked to some type of planetary observation system. Very mysterious. Let's see if those items you found in the wasteland will activate and unlock their secrets.
Yeah, I know. I think even when I was playing when it first came out, that was so stark to me. It's just like, this isn't not Cairo, Kira. This isn't Kira. Stop it. Anyway, bugger. I was listening to Kira so intently that I forgot some point I was going to make. Did you know Marvel Studios are basically picking up sticks and going to be based in Sydney for the next 5 years?
Oh, cool.
Because of how fucked the rest of the world is and how how accommodating the Australian government has been. They're basically going to be making their films out of Sydney now. They've already filmed a bunch in Sydney, including the new Thor movie. So
I think there's probably an article about ownership of Fox Studios after Disney bought 20th Century Fox.
yeah,
Also, I realized
apparently
that
Deadpool 3 will be MCU.
There you go. No, but I mean Fox Studios as in the Sydney, like the actual physical.
Oh, beg your pardon. I thought you meant
'cause
20th
I
Century
didn't know.
Fox.
Yeah, no, I should have been more specific.
No, that's alright.
Because I don't know if there is actually any studio there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like there's no reason you can't film urban.
I can
cityscapes.
say that there are definitely like film companies of some stripe, you know, like a post-production facility or PR or stuff like that. There are film industry businesses based out of that. As far as like a full-fledged studio, like what anyone imagines when they hear the word Fox Studios, maybe nothing that elaborate. I know, that was so close. These, when I played through Jak 3 last, like within the last year to kind of get my head around it, as we were playing Jak 2, this mission gave me the most grief.
Okay.
I don't know why it's happened that way, because other missions on this particular playthrough have given me grief, but like, anyway. But you see, like, you gotta follow that little wisp, and the hoops that you gotta ride through just pop up. So it's like very split-second decisions that gotta happen.
Yeah.
And again, we're only given the context for all this via intercom conversations. Samos and Kira cannot be bothered meeting us anyway.
No.
Having said sorry. Like, sorry we couldn't stop you getting exiled by Vega. Anyway, just do stuff.
Can you go
like this.
skateboard in the forest, please?
Yeah, go skateboard in the forest. That's it. Before the stream, as for pre-show tunes, I was playing tunes from both Goofy Extreme Skateboarding and Disney Skateboarding Adventure.
Nice.
So if you go back and
Two
watch the VOD,
distinct games.
absolutely, yeah. The Disney Skateboarding Adventure has Kid, Tarzan, Simba, and Buzz Lightyear on the cover. And
I remember that game now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you play as like Kid Tarzan, right?
you
At
can.
the start of the movie.
There's also like a normal kid who's like a player
he's one of the
avatar.
characters. Yeah.
Yeah,
Why would you play as a normal kid
I don't know. Maybe
when
maybe
you
it's
can
the
play
career
as
mode.
fucking Woody
no idea.
skateboarding around?
Well, maybe it's like Tony Hawk's Underground. You know, you build your own Disney skateboarding saga, and you sort of touch base with the pros, the Disney canon
Oh, I
luminaries. Maybe it's that. Maybe
Yeah.
I haven't played the game myself, but
You're trying to become your own Disney prince or princess.
that
and Chad
may
Musker
well
is
be the
there to help
case.
you.
That may well be the case. Yes.
Chad Musker throws you a skateboard, and he's like, "Take this to become a Disney princess." Oh fuck!
We're good. We're good.
Lost a few precious seconds there.
Oh god. Wait. Here we go. No, it basically resets the timer every time you enter a hoop, so I think as long as you just make it to the hoop, you then good.
Yeah, I remember what I was going to say, talking about
Yep.
shooting in Sydney and stuff. So I
Yep.
can't remember if I talked about it in a stream or not.
Yeah.
But I watched the Daniel Radcliffe movie, Guns Akimbo. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't seen it. I'm quite aware of it.
You should watch it. It's quite good.
It's quite good? Okay, that's good, because the director was a fucking tool in the lead up to it. Basically
really?
used the official Twitter account of the movie, Guns Akimbo, to weigh in on some drama that was happening on a film criticism website that I guess he was just familiar with, already following, because he had already made a feature film before and knew all these people. Basically using that as like an avenue for all his frustrations with quote unquote, like heavy quote unquote cancel culture.
Oh yeah.
When like you look at the realities of what was happening, it was like the editor-in-chief of this particular review site was revealed to have just used racial slurs frequently. The writers collectively went, we're not gonna write for this site anymore. And she got suicidal as a result, or at least, went on Twitter, said things to that effect. Not to doubt anyone's going through some strife mentally. It's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, did I do the same thing again? Oh! The same thing. Sorry, weird time to suddenly be like, oh, I'm badass, but it just came up. But yeah, so all that shit went down. He didn't have to do anything with it. He didn't have to have any dog in that fight, but like, he did. And he did it all from the personal Twitter account, and he made it clear that like, he was basically harassing the people who had walked away from that website and almost engaging in bullying himself, and just like really like haranguing people for what he thought was this stark injustice and part of a larger problem and stuff. And it's like, dude, you're just making a movie, all right? Relax.
Yeah.
It's all very distressing, and it all overshadowed, which is reportedly like a very distinct, as Daniel Radcliffe tends to get involved in, a very distinct and interesting movie.
Yeah, it's very similar to Scott Pilgrim vs. the World,
Yeah.
which I've only watched 20 minutes of.
Sure.
But-
Okay.
And
But
I hated
I
it,
see what
but
you mean. That same kind of like
stylistically.
drawing on all sorts of media, not just other movies.
There's also a commentary on. Well, apparently I haven't watched the end, but I know how Scott Pilgrim ends.
Yeah.
And
It's very, very, very sort of hot topic of discussion for that movie, because of course it's very different from the comics.
Yes. What I should say is it follows a similar commentary that the comic book does, in terms of the hero gets the girl in the end. It follows that same path. But anyway,
Guns
that's not
Akimbo does, or Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah, Guns Akimbo does.
Guns Akimbo. Yeah.
But that movie is filmed in Auckland.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
it's
because the
actually-
director's New Zealand. Yeah.
And it is very obvious. It's really funny in some parts. Like I noticed that they're driving on the left-hand side of the street.
Oh, okay.
It's one of them.
Did they ever
There's, like-
establish where the movie's set? Like, is it like, hey, I'm in New York, or-
It's set in Shrapnel City.
Oh. Okay.
Generic American city.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Maori people pretending to be either Hispanic or black, or African American, I should say.
Okay.
Which is funny.
Which is odd. Yeah.
And well, not like their accents are, because they're like, you know. And what else? Oh yeah, just one like kind of thing. It's the same thing that you noticed in the Matrix. Is that the sky is a lot clearer than it would typically be in Los Angeles.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good
It's hard
point.
to explain, but you notice it specifically in scenes in that movie in an office that Daniel Radcliffe's character works in.
Sure.
Just the way that the room is lit,
Yeah.
the lighting is completely different, and I was trying to figure out what it was, and I just sort of realized that it's probably because there's a lot less pollution than LA, where most Hollywood city movies are filmed,
Bugger.
or Vancouver, which is usually cloudy because it's raining.
That's an embarrassing fail. Because the hoop.
Oh,
was
and
right in front of me.
also Reese Darby is in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does not change his accent.
Yeah. You wouldn't.
I don't think he does in any movie that he's in.
I don't think. Yeah, he's in Jumanji, isn't he? Those new Jumanji movies.
Is he probably?
Yeah, he's like more or
don't
less the tutorial giver. You know.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's kind of his role in this movie as well.
Yeah. Again, it's sort of more or less a video game, right? Because it's like a live streamed thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a pretty derivative plot.
Sure.
It's the same as the movie Nerve. Which
Nerve.
I want to
Oh
talk
yeah,
about.
yeah. I've heard of Nerve.
I always want to talk about that movie. It's not good.
Is it? Who's in it? Dave Franco?
Dave Franco and Emma Roberts.
Emma Roberts, yes.
Yeah.
And it also reminds me of the Gerard Butler movie Gamer, which
my
I've had people insist to me is really good and clever. It's by Neville Dean and Taylor, who did the Crank movies, and the second Nick Cage Ghost Rider movie. If you're aware of either of those things,
I remember the first one. I didn't realize there was a second movie.
there was, yeah. And it's still not good, but it does have like one or two isolated moments of Nick Cage going off his nut, which I understand the first movie had not as much of. So, yeah. But Gamer is like prisoners on death row made to be a video game avatar, more or less. And but then one guy fights the system.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a... Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I forgot what I was going to say.
It's all good. Touching on a lot of stuff. The only topic of conversation I had in my head before I started was, and I showed you this on the Discord. I booted up the 360 that you gave me, and gave Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex a red hot go.
Better loading times.
No, surprisingly no. The version I've got loads very quickly.
No, I said with better loading times.
Oh, with better loading times. I thought you said
Yeah.
bad loading times. No, you're right. Better loading times.
That would make it much more enjoyable.
Yeah, it is. Because here's the thing, right? And I'll explain this quickly, and then we'll watch this plot-relevant cutscene. The thing is, they were planning an open-world Crash Bandicoot game to come out on next-gen systems. Mark Cerny was involved. And they were deep into development on that. And then Universal, who were publishing the Crash games at the time, decided they're going to enter an exclusive agreement with Konami to publish a Crash Bandicoot game. So they fell out with Sony in the wake of that. And so they had to change track from this open world game that they'd been designing with Cerny and Sony and go, okay, we've got a year to finish this game. We just got to start fresh. And so they just made the most standard... straightforward Crash game they could, and it feels that way. It's very standard, very ordinary. It's exactly what you expect coming off Crash 3. But I'm enjoying myself, honestly.
The seed of our destruction.
What?
And it's also got crunch in it.
Is she hot?
It sure does.
So they're funny.
He did say it fun.
shaping them with eco into something good. But we were foolish. The Dark Makers were once precursors, but their exposure to dark eco
Oh my God.
changed them. They began
Same thing,
twisting worlds, conquering life, and dark ages ensued. Now the Dark Ones have found your world and are coming to claim it for themselves.
Well, I can ruin the whole day.
I think this one's better than both of us.
Actually, this is Warcraft.
Oh yeah.
You will find the
Yeah.
planetary defense
I vaguely remember the lore from that, and something akin to this
still a
being
chance to save
the premise. So
your
yeah.
world. I hope you are more
So a lot of the meta plot of the overworld.
and closed.
Who is it that does the invading in Warcraft? The orcs?
No,
This is as we feared.
Sargeras.
We must get into those catacombs before that ship reaches this planet.
Thanks for that, Samus. Yeah, right. And when is that mostly dealt with in World of Warcraft? Which expansion?
It's happened a couple of times, but the last time was Legion, which was like 2016, something
Sure.
like that, 2015, 2016.
Are you gonna play Burning Crusade Classic when that happens?
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
I suggested to the gang that like Bianca and our mutual friends that we start Blood Elves, and people
Yes,
seem keen.
that's what I'm. Yeah,
Like
that's what
that
I've been
first,
waiting for.
the first night on those servers is going to be so crowded. Like, there's people
Yeah.
flocking. I think I remember seeing it like Burning Crusade early on. I think my brother got it like days after it came out, and we were seeing much the same thing. And I started a Draenei Warrior just to feel different, and that was
I
cool
had a-
actually.
I had a Blood Elf Paladin
Oh yeah,
during Burning Crusade.
Mhm.
Good times. Good times.
yeah,
I'll probably do the same.
yeah. Why not?
So yes, that sounds very appealing to me.
Right. Was there anything even vaguely the same level of appealing at a BlizzCon? It didn't seem like there was. Diablo 2 remaster?
Yeah, I'm actually pretty keen for that.
Okay, cool.
Much like that Bionicle game we talked about on Tuesday night. I also have a vivid memory.
You mean the fan game? That isn't out yet?
The Bionicle one? No,
Yeah,
you know
just-
I talked about that Bionicle game that I played?
Gosh, I'm struggling, sorry.
There was it's okay. There was an online Bionicle game. Back in the
Yes,
day.
okay,
We
that
did- it
game.
was like a
Because there's a few
point-and-click.
Bionicle games, it took a while.
Sorry,
but yeah,
yeah.
no, that Flash game, okay.
Anyway, much like that, I have a memory of playing Diablo 2 in an internet cafe in Christchurch when I
Nice.
was really young, like 9, 10 or something like that. That was the first time. Actually, I think it's the first and only time I played that game.
Yeah.
Um,
But you have fond enough memories that you want to give it another go.
I remember being like, "Whoa, this game's fucking sick."
Yeah.
The main thing being the aesthetic was really weird and cool.
I'll tell you, like, Diablo 1 was the game that I grew up with. That we had the CD-ROM, and we had it on the computer that I shared with my brothers, and I was always too scared to play it. Because, you've probably heard the music before, it's just, like, got such a mood. And, so,
Yeah.
and like, you go through each floor of the dungeons, and it's cast in shadow out of the gate, and, like, you open up doors, and suddenly enemies will appear because they're suddenly in your field of view, and it's all just kind of spooky and scary. And as a kid, I was just terrified of it. But yeah, that mood is what stuck with me. So then you get to Diablo 2, which blows everything out and makes it about going from all sorts of different locales to locales, and it just felt more grindy and less focused and less atmospheric, and both myself and my brother have had this experience. We just get bored with it, Diablo 2, even though so many people love it. And like, I don't say that to be like they're wrong. It's just like, it's just weird how revered it is and how little I connect to it. You would think it just felt very ironic given how much I love Diablo 1. So,
And then there's Diablo 3, which I've played a fair bit of.
I played the free trial and I was like, this is more or less the same experience. I know what to expect here. I'm not going to buy the whole thing.
So when Diablo 3 came out when I was... I'll tell it after when we're traveling or something.
Yeah, cool.
I'm
Hold
gonna
up,
write
what
that
about
down so I
Diablo
don't
3?
forget.
So this is HQ, and as you can see in the center of the room, there are all our friends. So let's go have a chat to them.
And someone pretending to be Kira.
Yes.
Hello, fellow peeps and cronies. That's right, the Daxternator is back in the building.
Daxter, Jack, you did it!
It's about time you two got here.
What took you so long? Sorry, we only had a war in the way.
Great work, Jack. Let me be the first to officially apologize for the city.
Forget about it. I've got my own interest in this.
Well, what we know right now is there's a huge
Well,
dark
that takes
planet
care of that.
bearing down on us all. How much time we have, no one can guess. If it is rogue precursor technology, then the only way to destroy it is with more precursor technology. And that lies at the bottom of the catacombs.
Also, the large number of eco-crystals being moved about can mean only one thing. Someone is trying to awaken vast precursor technology.
I almost wonder if it would be better if they just made up a new character and called it like Kaira.
Think Figur's behind it.
Kyrie.
Or Errol. Or maybe...
Oh, wait till you hear about my adventures in the wasteland. So there I was, facing a whole brood of slobbering metalheads, when all of a sudden... Uh-oh.
It looks
Why
like a
did they have
large-scale
to
assault.
fucking
Multiple
bring the
targets
penis
inbound.
bird back
You
as
up
a
for some action,
character?
Jack?
Look who
Oh,
you're
because he
talking
was such a hit the
to. Let's
first
rock
time.
and roll, Dax.
Presumably.
He's Poochie. And Daxter's already Poochie. We don't need two Poochies.
I'm trying to remember if he's in what little I've played of Jack X. I'm not sure that he
He's
is.
one of the drivers.
That'd be great. Just him, because like the cars in Jack X are obviously like big cars, right? So, oh, I got my peacemaker back. Sorry, everyone who I'm inadvertently killing by doing this, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looked like you were shooting your friends just right in the back.
it looks that way because it is what's happening.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm the hero, so it's fine.
Alright, you Dark Jack.
Ah, is this
That's-
infamous?
This is like something I really expected in either Jack 2 or 3. Was there a plot? Was there to be some sort of plot about not being able to control his dark side? But he got these dark powers at the very start of Jack 2, and it seems to have been nothing but a benefit to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's he feels bad about it, and so he has this extra incentive to go kill the Baron, to kill Praxis, as he so vividly tells us. But yeah. It's like, oh yeah, and they also make some noise about how, like, oh, you've been tainted by dark ecos, so you can't activate the precursor stone anymore, but your younger self can do it. So I guess it factors into the plot that way, but it's all just clinical plot points. As far as Jack himself, him being angry is just like window dressing.
Yeah.
You know, it's not delved into whatsoever. No, you're absolutely right.
Oh yeah, Diablo 3. So
Yeah. Sorry.
if you remember, you may or may not remember, Diablo 3 on launch was fucked. It required
Yes.
it required you to be online.
That's correct.
And it felt like it was one of the first like really bad launches, at least for Blizzard. Like,
Certainly for Blizzard. I'm trying to think if like buggy launches were a thing at that point, because that's like,
yeah,
you know,
no,
we
really.
weren't quite in the days that we are now, where like you just patch your way out of a bad launch.
I think Classic was a bit rocky, but I think that was literally just because of capacity.
Yeah.
And they've been working to stagger it out. They did a bunch of like everything they could. So yeah, I was at uni at the time, and we had to maintain a blog at all times.
That sounds productive.
It was. We were just write about random shit. But yeah, I wrote a lot about that Diablo launch thing.
What was the subject you were doing this for?
I don't. Yeah, we had the same blog for a lot of different subjects.
Oh, was it journalism related or?
Communication.
Communication.
Communications and media studies is the degree that I have. And I did a double major. One major is in journalism, and the other one is in digital media.
Oh yeah.
So think about it as probably digital media.
Sorry, I'm just gonna focus for a second. Oh no. Dang. And we have now hit 50 deaths.
Hey,
I'm hitting the applause button.
play the 50 death song.
X and Y Jack 3 playthrough. In Roman
but
numerals,
I
that
played-
would be just a sweet little L. I'm
But I
taking
played
the
the-
L.
I've played Diablo 3 on PC, PS4, and Switch now.
Oh wow.
Switch is definitely the best way to play it.
Switch. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. What do you think sets the Switch version apart?
It's on the Switch.
Okay.
So it's
And it runs
handheld.
well, I'm
It
assuming.
plays, yeah, it runs well. And-
Yeah, it's old enough that, like, you know, it's not a Doom Eternal situation where,
Yeah.
like,
And the screen
visible
size
downgrades
is,
everywhere.
yeah, and the screen size is appropriate. It feels like a game that is meant for handheld once you're playing. Even though it's not. I think Diablo 1 and 2 are on PS1 actually. There's some versions.
Sorry, so, yeah, Diablo 1 did get a PS1 port. I'm trying to think, sorry, did you just say Diablo 1 and 2 on older consoles? Or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, Diablo 1 got a PS1 port. I don't know if Diablo 2 got anything.
Yeah.
I was
wasn't sure
curious to
which one.
try that Diablo 1 PS1 version. It's just
Yeah.
to see how it plays.
So it's StarCraft 64. It's a curiosity.
Is that a real product or?
Yeah, StarCraft 1 on
Oh, okay,
Nintendo
it's not
64.
a StarCraft Ghost situation where it's cancelled
No.
but it becomes a much sought after item, or
Yeah,
okay,
no,
cool.
it's a real game. Apparently, it's not very good.
I imagine they'd have to pretty drastically simplify everything.
RTS
Suit that
is on.
controller for one thing.
Yeah. If you're gonna do an RTS on a console, you have to do it like Halo Wars, where you design it from the outset to be on console.
Yeah, I've been browsing the 360 store quite a bit, just seeing what free demos they still have up, and there's a lot of them, by the way. And of course, Halo Wars came up. Because
you
that
get a
came
match
out
up,
360 first, didn't it?
Yes. Did you
Yeah,
ever
did
play
come out
Brutal
initially.
Legend?
Sorry?
Did you ever play Brutal Legend?
For like an hour on PC, but I got distracted by something, like I tend to. In fact, Xavier RN, who of course dropped into our stream recently, is streaming it as of Tuesday night. Started
really?
this week. That was quite a coincidence. I'm curious about Brutal Legend though. I take it you played it.
Yeah, I bought it back in the day, and I traded it in, which I don't trade in games anymore.
Sure.
But I regret that because I'd like to go back and see it. But yeah, I do you know what like the deal is with that game?
Yeah, so it starts out like an action adventure set in like
Yeah.
a metal influenced fantasy world, and then it becomes at some point a strategy game.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Smite, or it's kind of like kind of like an RTS, but you're still playing from a 3D.
Yeah,
action.
there is a PC game that I played a demo for back in the day that it reminded me very strongly of, called Sacrifice, which was a big deal at the time. It had like Brad Garrett and Tim Curry on the voice cast, and
Okay.
like it was pretty cool. But it had very much the same gameplay. That's kind of what it reminded me of. So, as people were saying, like, what is this weird sort of semi-strategy thing it's doing? It's like, oh, it's like Sacrifice. Cool. Like, okay, so it's not a platformer, but that's alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just funny you said Brad Garrett and Tim Curry. I would have led with Tim Curry first.
Don't we all love the guy from Everybody Loves Raymond, though?
Apparently stand-up comedy is actually quite good. It's quite respected in that regard. I don't know him other than Everybody Loves Raymond's brother.
There we go.
Nice shooting.
Thank you.
Find your way back here, Jack.
First try. Very first
Find the way
try.
back by running, I assume.
Yeah. I mean, we're right outside. It's fine. It's all good.
Oh man, I really would like to. I always get this itch, but the Warriors game.
Oh, yeah. It's on PS4. Easy to get.
I've got it on PS4. Yeah.
Oh, you do. It's just a
Yeah,
matter of
those
replaying it. Is that the
Yeah, I've
idea?
replayed it again recently.
Yep.
It's not real fun unless you're playing it co-op.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's where it shines. Oh yeah,
Nice
split
moves,
screen
my
co-op.
boy.
And it's got the
You're the
Lego
best
style
man
co-op
we've
where if you
got
move
to lead an
away from each other,
expedition
it turns into split screen.
into
Yeah,
the
nice.
And then when you go
catacombs.
back together, it
Please,
merges.
please, let us not be too hasty.
I'm so glad we're here. So Vegas just rocked up. The guy responsible for exiling us and for kicking off everything that's happened in this game has just rocked up.
It's like, may the precursors judge you or whatever.
Yeah, so he's that guy. So it's pretty wild that he's here in HQ. It's just shown
Pretty
up.
contentious.
Yeah. So bear that in mind.
Are you sure you want this dark eco freak contaminating the hallowed halls of our glorious precursors? I should lead the
Excuse me?
expedition myself.
We're tired of your scheming, Viger.
I've got the answer you're looking for. My precursor monks have given me the knowledge to turn on the planetary defense grid, if you beg me to do so.
Jack's always gotten us through thick and thin. I'm with him.
Here, here.
You washed up, vegan.
Vega! It's Vega, you idiot!
Vegans are funny.
I hereby dissolve the city council and strip you of your title, command, and all privileges. Now get out of my sight.
What?
That
There's
is
a hierarchy and she's in charge of him?
that is the single dumbest bit of writing in all of these games. Right there. He exiled Jack, and at any moment she could have just said, "No, don't do that."
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Or turn them on or we'll put you in prison.
Yeah.
Or we'll beat you up.
How dare you! I offered you mercy, but
They're
now
writing it on the
you
run,
will
you know?
all
That was
Like,
Neil
it's just...
Druckmann.
curse our
I
fathers
bet
of
Neil
creation.
Druckmann was responsible for that.
That was one hell of an attack wave. We can't continue to repel such large assaults forever. That floating war factory has got to be shut down. The problem is, the factory is shielded and has gate codes on every access point. Most old KG door ciphers were kept hidden in the main system at the power room. If you can break into the system, you may be able to unlock the war factory
Oh, yeah,
doors
she's
to get
back too.
inside.
Onan says the eco-grid in the power room
Onan
could help
says.
you. But to open the old power room, you must find the junction box in the sewer. Personally, I think you're crazy to go down there. But,
Love that whale tail
good
with
luck.
that lady with that G-string. As was the style at the time.
As was the style. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to the sewers. Highlight of any decent game.
Yes. Yes.
We gotta go down there, we gotta activate a switch to activate a junction box to activate a door. Same old shit. Different day.
Have we've been to the sewers before, right?
Yeah. This is where we you remember the like that mission in Jack 2 where we took 3 guys down there and they're like, "Hey, nice shooting, Blondie." And we had to like escort them and make sure they didn't die. They're the same sewers. Well, actually, no. It's actually more like we've been to the sewers in this playthrough, and they are slightly different to those sewers
Yeah.
from Jack 2.
Because they remade the sewers.
They more or less remade the sewers.
Real important. Have you played the game Darksiders? Do you know it?
Yes, I have played through all of Darksiders 1.
Because I'm pretty sure there's a sewer part in that game. Which, for a fantasy game, is weird.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm casting my mind back to Darksiders 1. It's not an exceptional game, so like it doesn't, you know, sing in my memory necessarily. I remember like a lot of like Zelda-like fields and traversal.
Yeah.
You know, just having to go across long plains and stuff. But then at a certain point, you get access to your horse, because you're of course a horse rider of the apocalypse, a horseman. And being able to ride around on the horse and shoot at stuff was pretty fun. I remember that.
Yeah. Remember there's one horse-mounted boss.
There was, definitely. And Mark Hamill was like along for the ride. He played a character in that.
Oh yeah, he's like the vendor.
Yeah. Well, not the
He's like
vendor.
the
The vendor's like some, you know, Arabian stereoto, but like he's somebody that's like he's kind of like Venom. Like he's bonded toward to you, and you gotta like
Isn't he also
as like
doesn't he also
punishment
sell you
of some
stuff?
kind.
I think he sells his stuff as well. Oh, I very.
Maybe he gave you upgrades. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the vendor's like a full-on, like, guy in a turban and stuff. Like a creepy genie.
Awesome.
And I tried Darksiders 2 for, I would say, 2 hours, and I realized there was way more loot and RPG type, like, light stuff. I was just like, I don't have the patience for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the third one is like a Dark Souls clone.
Yeah. Man, they really were just struggling for an identity. And then there's also that Genesis game, which is like
Yeah.
a top-down, well, kind of isometric Diablo-y kind of thing.
Every game changes its
Yeah.
style of gameplay. I do want to go back and play those though.
It's definitely like a series where it's somebody's favorite, you know? Because, I mean, they brought in, I want to say like Mike Mignola? No. Somebody famous to do the art and creative design for it. Somebody who's a
My
big deal.
my favorite series is Dante's Inferno.
Can I tell you, I've got a demo for that installed on the 360. I really want to try it. Because I remember being fascinated when it came out. Because I've watched it now to 360, but I was just fascinated with the designs in that game. Because they're just kind of off the wall.
I remembered what I was going to say ages ago.
Yep.
Which was that there is a God of War clone style game for there's a based around Ghost Rider. There's a Ghost Rider game.
Ghost Rider of War. Okay.
Yes. And apparently it's quite good.
And it's
Pseudo
based
Best
on...
Friends.
It's based
I
on
don't
the movie?
think. No.
No. Wow.
I think it might have came out around the same time as the movie, but it's not Nick Cage's likeness. I might be wrong
really
about that.
interesting. I know that there was a Punisher game that
Oh,
coincided with the movie, but like
Yeah.
played up like, oh, awesome kills and shit. Like,
Yeah, so
torture your
there's-
enemies and shit.
Super Best Friends did a full Let's Play of that. But they did a one-off video of that Ghost Rider video too, and the whole time they were screaming because it was so exciting. Gross.
No.
This is what I need late in the game. A gross sewer.
That was a good gag. I
Waiting for
wasn't
the
quick enough on the
punchline.
laugh track. So Ghost Rider, what system is it on?
I think this is a PS2, Xbox One gen
Okay.
game.
Yep. I mean, go
Can't
figure
remember
if it's a God of War clone, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I'd
As
never
was
heard
the
of it.
style at the time.
Yeah, true
Which
that.
is making God of War clones.
This is what the kids want. Have you been at all like exposed to what David Jaffe is doing these days?
No.
He's
That sounds
basically got
bad.
like a budding YouTube career where he like blogs about shit. And like he got like I saw him on Twitter the other day. Basically, there's this new, I can't even remember the name of it. It's like what is clearly meant to be quite an avant-garde kind of indie game that's got the pretense of a first-person shooter, but it's clearly kind of breaking down our assumptions of like what that should look and feel like, you know? And it's on Steam. And he left a Steam review. David Jaffe, designer of the original God of War, just left a Steam review saying, "Yeah, I'm getting a refund on this. I don't know what I'm missing here, but you guys are trolling me hard." And the guy and David Jaffe like more or less tweeted that out, or at least someone tweeted it on his behalf. And
That'll
the
help him
developer's
out.
like, "Hey man, like, you know, you've got a wide reach. Maybe don't do this kind of thing, you know?" And Jaffe, of course, is like, he's got a very Angry Joe type disposition where it's just hamming up the instances in which he plays bad games as though it were like this extremely torturous experience when it goes wrong, you know. The other thing I saw by him, he played Sackboy's Big Adventure, and he said, "Holy effing shit, this level is based entirely around the song Uptown Funk." Like, it's like all the level obstacles are synced to Uptown Funk. And he's like, "I'm calling it, baby. This is the Baby Driver of video games." And he was completely serious. And like,
Because he synced up a song to a
yeah,
level.
and it's like Rayman did that, dude. What are you talking about? Like,
Yeah. Daft Punk did that.
oh, did Daft Punk do it?
The film clip for Around the World.
Oh, sure, but like I'm talking about video games where there's an entire level synced to a song.
Yeah, but I mean, surely those took a lot of inspiration from that Daft Punk film clip.
Sure.
Is what I mean. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But even if you want to say, yeah, but this is the first time it's done in a video game, it's like, no, it's been done in a video game.
Oh, I just remember that Rayman level that you mentioned. Holy shit! Fuck that level.
Yeah, I played it recently, and I was like, okay. That was the point at which I bowed out of that Rayman game. Rayman Legends is the one it was.
Oh, because there's one in the first Rayman game.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah, that might be.
I played a bit of both,
actually.
but...
The power room door is now open, Jack.
That game is so hard.
Okay. But I remember seeing the they dedicated an entire trailer to the fact that they've got this music stage in Rayman Legends, and it's like set to... I forget which song it was. It's like some rock song, maybe Led Zeppelin. And they're playing up how kooky and weird it is, like so much of those Rayman games are doing. I was like, okay, I get it.
There is, because there's a whole world based on music in the first Rayman game.
That's right. Yeah, you're reminding me now. Yep, absolutely, there is.
And that's sort of all those scrollers where you have to go through them, like you have to follow a particular rhythm to get them. It's really clever, but it's fucking hard.
Do you remember this place?
It looks kind of familiar.
Yeah. Do you think you can remember who we would visit in here?
Oh, the blue boy. Yeah, I remember this. Yes, the blue sage. She's not the blue sage. But...
The blue sage is not the blue sage. Do you remember what happened to him?
I probably exploited it. I don't know. No,
More or less. He died. The metalheads got in here and he died.
Okay.
And he gave his life for the cause. So, yeah, bear that in mind as we have a stroll in.
Remember this place? I sure miss good old Vin.
Yeah, he was a good guy. A bit crazy.
Hey, who you calling crazy? I can't help it if the world is out to get me. Vin! Wait a minute. Is that you? Yeah, it's me. Well, actually, no, it's not. I'm a multi-layered, hyperlinking, digimemic, bioconstruct, superclocked mega memory construct, baby. Did you understand a word he said? When the city was overrun by metalheads, before they got to me, I dumped my brain into the eco grid. Everything's great now.
I'm a ghost in the shell.
In here. Or can they?
Listen, Ben.
Join the hive mind, Jack.
You are. But right now, I need to get into the war factory, but the doors are
Look
sealed.
at you,
We think the code to
pathetic
open the
human.
doors is hidden in the system.
It is.
Really?
Positive. Can you get it for us? Negative. Why not? Because if you have half a brain cycle, you'd know that those access codes are guarded by the central system. Ancient, nasty circuits in there. Even we bit brains can't nibble around there without getting our butts erased.
Just get us close.
Oh, sure, yeah. It's your death. If you fail, I can always use a companion in here. Oh, the fun we'll have. Let's hope. Oh, God, let's hope. It doesn't come to that. When I put you into the system, the main security will slam down hard.
Wait, they are putting him into the mainframe?
And get out or get eco-zapped for good.
Oh, this is a minigame, isn't it?
Okay, Vin, baby.
Yep.
Jack me in. Wait for it, wait for it. Okay, input.
So, Daxter's the one getting sucked into the
Oh,
computer.
God.
I know. But I have to pause it here, otherwise it'll proceed. What am I doing in this minigame?
I think I've seen the title of the stream. I think I know.
It's
It
not
is a
Star Fox.
mini- Oh,
not.
fuck. Okay. I'm going to say... I'm going to make an educated guess and say that you are, like... It's going to be similar to getting bugs, like in the PSP game, but you're getting, like, computer viruses.
Getting bugs in the PSP game.
So it's going to be like just a platformer with Daxter.
Okay, right, cool.
But it's going to be like kind of like the Tron level in Kingdom
Well, you're
Hearts.
wrong. It's Pac-Man.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's a weird version of Pac-Man as well.
I should have seen this coming.
Oh, no.
So we just gotta, like Pac-Man, gobble up all the dots. And, yeah, that's the aim.
But it's not
what we're
that.
No.
No.
I don't know why he said no. I can't remember what it is that, like, that little pickup does.
What's the orange line?
The orange line is the attack path of that nasty thing that's out to get us.
Oh, so it's kind of like Pac-Man and Frogger a little bit.
And yeah, kinda.
By the way, I'm losing a lot of frames, so I can't see exactly what you're doing.
Oh no.
Okay, well, I'm locked into like moving forward all the time.
Yeah, okay.
So it's just a matter of what lane I sit in. So, for instance, that's a death.
So this is like Frogger mixed with Pac-Man.
Yes.
Here they come.
I won't dispute that comparison. That's fine. It's just I got as far as just a weird Pac-Man, but that's yeah.
Look out!
Yeah, you got. I mean, it's like a car. I get it now. I was slowly working through it in my head, but I got there.
I watched an episode of Dragon's Den today.
It's looking
Oh yeah.
And there's a guy who pitched a board game, and board games never goes well.
Yeah, because they're pretty.
No.
I mean, it's the British version, so they're pretty uptight, I imagine.
Yeah, and just
what I've
board
seen.
games are not a money-making sort of endeavor.
Sure. But they sure put them on the show anyway.
Yep.
Oh,
They
I
do it
see
more
what
in
this. Sorry, I've just realized with
looking
this.
bad.
That little pickup I just got, that's generating more dots, so I actually want to get that. Yeah. To stop it from.
I gotta avoid the nasties.
I know, Dax. I know.
It's looking bad.
Fucking idiot.
He's got to say it out loud for his own benefit, not ours.
Oh yeah, I went to the aquarium yesterday. That was
Really?
fun. Yeah.
Oh no.
They have a massive dugong there.
Yeah, nice. Did you go? You went with somebody?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I figured. Like, why would you go on your own? So I'd be very interested if you went on your own. I'd be like, I've never heard of someone doing that.
I was doing research.
Jack. She's got the info beamed here. That cipher key will unlock the war factory doors. We'll get on it right away and get back to you.
Listen, Ven, we've got things to do, but we'll keep in touch. We promise.
I'm trying to remember offhand what interactions we have from him with Computer Vin before the game is over. And I can't say I remember that vividly.
I don't care for the character, it's fine.
Well, that's fine then.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, who's the Blue Sage? Is that Vin?
The Blue Sage is just some guy you met in Jack 1. He is irrelevant.
No, I mean, what's that dude's name?
That dude's name is Vin.
Yeah, that is Vin. Okay, cool.
That's his actual name, yes. It is funny that, like, this one character showed up for maybe 20 seconds in Jak and Daxter 1. Has sort of burrowed its way into your brain.
Because it seemed like he...
Like, he was blue, I
Good,
get it, but, like, it is funny. It
his
suggests
role
that you're
at the
very
time.
attached to this Blue Sage, despite everything.
but it just seems like it would be a perfect fit, you know, for that... Like, you don't need to make a new character for them when you have the exact same role being fulfilled.
That's a fair point. Yeah. Or at least, you know, say, like, oh, I'm an ancestor. The Blue Sage is my ancestor. Because, of course, you know, we traveled into the future.
Yeah, or you could just say, hey, the eco's been keeping me alive for such a long time. Because it gives you energy.
But even Samos needed to travel through time to make that distance, so maybe he wouldn't be exempt either. I don't know. Look, we're thinking about it more than the developers did, so...
Then Neil did. Neil and Amy.
Neil and Co.
Fucking
and
yucking
Amy.
it up.
I know.
Love them
That's the frame
screams.
rate, by the way. Is it settled down, or...?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I was hoping it was just for that mini game, because, like, a lot of shit was happening.
Yeah, it comes good for cutscenes.
Mm-hmm. No, it's good.
I'm waiting in an elevator.
Yeah. Silky smooth in the elevators. Alright, I can't remember offhand what we're doing now.
We went to the sewer, lads. We did
This
it.
time, Jack. That Dakota you found.
You gotta go back into the sewer, Jack.
This is Star Fox.
We can get inside now, and we need our best people on the raid.
Oh, gee. I wonder who that might be.
There's a good chance that factory is doing more than just making death bots.
I want to know who's behind it all. How are so many death bots being made? Where are they getting the supplies and the eco? Something about this doesn't seem right.
Yeah, right into the hornet's nest. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, remind me when to laugh.
I could say the same to you, Daxter.
It would be a very, very pertinent question at all times with Daxter. So, as I implied with the stream title, this is Star Fox. We're going to get in a ship and we're going to fly. We're going to fly around. We've hovered around in a bike type thing. But, oh, come on, out, chub. Alright. We've hovered around in a bike type thing, and a car type thing, but now we're actually full-on flying.
Yeah.
So, yeah. As the game will reveal to us in a protracted cutscene that you're about to see.
Do you have 360 control? Oh no, it's Star Fox, isn't it?
It's Star
Sorry.
Fox.
Yeah,
it is Star Fox, so you're going forward all the time. Anyway, check this epic shit out. It's pretty cool how we spent all of Jak 2 overtaking, like defeating a tyrannical government, fascistic almost, and now we're just hopping into the same ships that they were using the same personnel they were using, and this time it's heroic. Like,
have you ever read a book called Animal Farm?
Oh well, I'll look into that.
I actually don't think it's going into that direction, but have you read Animal Farm though?
Yeah, ages ago though.
Yeah.
So we got to destroy a bunch of yellow lanterns. That's what we got to do. Anything that's glowing yellow, and maybe you're having difficulty seeing this. The frame rate's probably taking a massive hit right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like Spyro actually. It's like a weird Star Fox Spyro mashup, where you just got to do a bunch of mini objectives in a very awkward to control flying.
Yeah, this looks awful.
Yeah, was it you that said the flying stages in Spyro were shithouse? Or was that recent chat?
No, that wasn't me. I don't actually remember the quality of the flying stages in Spyro. I remember doing them for sure.
Playing them in Reunited trilogy was frustrating.
Okay, yeah.
They're not.
Yeah, I see it.
Like, I know, I see why the burning urge to put him in, but yeah, they're only sort of okay. Alright, let me just get some distance. Alright. Now, we gotta destroy more yellow thingies. So we're just going through targets, that's it.
Yeah, I just want to say too, Animal Farm, like, for me, that, like, it's a very short story.
Yeah.
It's more of a short story than a book.
Yeah.
But, to me, it felt like a marking moment for my media knowledge because, like, I had read 1984, but that was for class, so it wasn't as enjoyable.
Sure.
But reading Animal Farm in high school, so it opened my eyes to realizing that you can, like, finding something enjoyable even though it doesn't necessarily have a happy ending and wrap everything. Like, it can make you feel like shit reading it, but it can be an enjoyable experience.
Yeah, things don't... Media you consume doesn't always have to be fun necessarily. It can just be like, really enlightening or heavy or sort of an emotional release or whatever. Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah,
I remember the movie I first watched that was like what I would categorize, at least at the time, as like an art movie. And realizing like, no, I don't really have, it's not really about getting it necessarily, like getting whatever high-minded critique they're doing. It could just be like enjoyable on an aesthetic level, and you can actually enjoy it and be pleased to have watched it that way. It's this movie called Playtime, which is by a French director called Jacques Tati. It came out in like the 60s, and it's supposedly like this critique of the modernist movement in France at the time and the sort of bureaucracy it encouraged. And I may be getting that wrong still, but it just has a quality about it that's really kind of compelling, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's still one of my favorite movies for that reason.
I'd really like to. I was trying to find a place to stream it and its stand, so I need to see if I have a stand login somewhere. But I want to watch 12 Angry Men.
The classic version, because there's a made-for-TV version with Tony Danza as the baseball guy.
No,
it's very funny. It's very funny.
Yeah, no, that's not what I meant.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's not what anyone means. I'm just being facetious.
I had no idea that they did. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. William Friedkin directed it, and William Friedkin, of course, like one of the best-known American directors, really, did The Exorcist and a bunch of other stuff. So that's quite funny. Okay. But yeah, no, 12 Angry Men slaps still.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, a movie like that is Snowpiercer, which is one of my favorites. That movie just makes you feel like shit the entire time you watch it.
Well, yeah, you can't. I mean, yeah, Bong Joon-ho, you can't go wrong. Yeah,
he's so fucking good there.
He's so good.
But yeah, it was funny. After I watched Snowpiercer for the second time with my roommate, my older roommate, she goes, "I don't understand why this movie isn't like, why people aren't talking about this movie." She's like, "Why isn't this more of like a cult classic? Because it seems so relevant to everything. Like the subtext is not subtle whatsoever."
Yeah. Yeah, that was my main takeaway from when I first watched it in the cinema. It's just like, wow, they're really just saying the whole point of the movie in this last scene, aren't they? And it's like, and it wasn't necessarily a bad thing. It really wasn't.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, there's a new season of the show I need to watch.
Oh yeah, that's right. You mentioned you were big on the show.
Yeah, first season's great. Jennifer Connelly and Daveed Diggs. And Sean Bean comes into it into the second season.
Wow.
He plays.
Thanks for joining us. Unfortunately, we are going to wrap it up very soon, so you guys can get on with Review Geo at whatever time you want to do. I know it's like sometimes 8:30 or whatever. Yeah. I'm just contemplating, because I gotta like duck out for an errand at like 7:30, and I'm not heaps confident we're gonna get this mission done. Let's just get as far as we can, because the checkpointing in this game is pretty generous, and then I'll like establish what we gotta do for next week, I suppose.
Yeah.
So right now we're just storming the weapons factory. That's it. It's just robots everywhere.
So Bianca, now that you're here, do you manage to watch Chernobyl? We're talking about media that you enjoy, even though it makes you feel like shit. Evangelion being a good example.
Classic.
Well, you can. Well, it does make you feel like shit, but there's at the end, maybe not. I don't know. Did you watch any analysis of
Neon?
Of End of Evangelion? Yeah.
I think I've only watched that Mega 64 thing, which is a good recap, frankly.
Yeah, but like an explanation, or do you feel like you grasped what was going on in that movie?
Yeah. Mega 64 even made it a little clearer. Like,
fair enough.
It's just like that. Shinji is kind of being is being sort of elected god, and he's like, it's his call as to whether humanity carries on or not. Yeah. So it's not quite like, for some reason in my head it was like the end of the world, and it's literally put on the death count for that. It was the end. It was like, in my mind it was just Shinji and Asuka. Asuka? No.
Asuka. No, it's just Asuka. You could, it's pronounced like that.
Okay, Jack, we're clear.
Yeah, it was, in my mind, it was just the two of them on the planet. It was just like, how are they going to survive? Who the fuck knows? But like, it sort of implied that the rest of humanity is washing up as well, and they'll, something will happen.
Or the ones that want to. Some people might. Some people might.
And as the ending implies, even Shinji, who is like dedicating himself to appreciating life more, immediately demonstrates that he will not, which is quite bleak. But
he's so fucked up.
Yeah.
He admits it at the start of the movie.
Yeah. And Asuka replies in kind at that very end there.
But Chernobyl's really fucking good. If you're watching this and you haven't watched Chernobyl, turn this off and watch Chernobyl.
We're wrapping it up soon anyway, so why not?
Yeah. But Chernobyl's very informative too. About like not only about that Chernobyl incident itself, which is very interesting, but how governments Specifically, the Soviet Union lied to people. But yeah, if you haven't seen Chernobyl, the main problem, like the bigger problem, wasn't even the
reactor, right?
Yeah, the gas cloud. It was the biggest problem was the nuclear, whatever it is, material.
All right, cut! Where's the director? I can't work like this.
Where's Neil?
That is actually a fantastic point to finish, because I've realized this mission carries on quite a bit. We're like storming the whole compound, and there's a lot of bits where we switch to Daxter and back again. So I don't think, and I do want to be done by 7:30, so I don't think we're going to make any significant progress in that time. And I am very pleased that Daxter said that, because I'm going to go ahead and call cut at that point. Yeah. Plus, you saw me like die 3 times immediately, and that death counter's getting steep. So I think we'll, cool off and then come back and slam it all down in one go.
I'm happy to do a long sesh next week too.
Yeah, glad.
And I'll just finish my thought on Chernobyl.
Go for it. Yeah.
The bigger problem was the nuclear energy and whatever the nuclear bad stuff was melting through the ground and was going to leak into the Mediterranean Ocean, basically, and would have fucked up the water supply for the entirety of Europe. So, yeah, good times. Yep.
Yeah, and so it's like the company and right. So like that is the natural disaster that would have occurred, but there's all sorts of bureaucracies around it that sort of allowed that to happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was my understanding. I haven't watched it yet. I really should. It's so short compared to like
it's
the
really,
TV shows that I'm told to
too.
watch. Yeah.
I watched the first episode of The Queen's Gambit, by the way. It was really good, and I'll keep watching that.
Neato. We love a little Netflix binge. All right. Thanks for that, Brendan. I will see you. Well, we'll do something Tuesday night before everything.
And I'll be streaming
Monday night
in an hour.
Monday night, you got Mass Effect, so that's cool too.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. Okay, so I am going to. So like, once I say goodbye on the stream, I'll hang up our call, just FYI, and then I'll just play some music and see us out.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thanks heaps, Brendan.
All right.
And
bye.
thanks to anyone watching. We will see you next time.